It's week 3 of high school varsity football, and I'm with Fairmont Firebirds head coach Dave Miller. Coach, let's talk a little bit about last week. At half, your team was down 14-6 despite 3 turnovers. What was your message to the team regarding the mistakes, and did you feel fortunate to have only been down by 8 points?
Everything they got, we gave them. It was pretty much, and probably a little more forceful than what I'm saying it now, but just kind of trying to get them to wake up, to quit giving the game away. We put ourselves in a hole unnecessarily. I thought we had a good half, minus the huge mistakes. Those were glaring, and can't do that with a good football team. So, that was it. They didn't really, we talk about earn, never give is one of our goals, and they really didn't earn, I think, a lot of what they got in the first half. We kind of gave it to them. So, tough to beat good teams if you do that.
In the third quarter, what was the key for a Slifer interception that led to tying the game?
Well, one thing is we got, another mishap on our part. We got down on the 1 yard line and got stopped. When you have to go from the 1 yard line, that's tough. We did a nice job in coverage on that. We got a tip pass, kind of pressured the quarterback a little bit. He did a nice job coming up with that. But that was huge because we finally got down and scored after that. So just good team defense, really, more than anything else, and them having to try to drive the length of the field, after us getting stopped on 4th and 1. So
on Trotwood's game-winning drive, why was it difficult to contain Trotwood's quarterback, who had several key first down conversions on scrambles?
Well, I just don't think we were playing fundamental defense. I mean, we got to get back to fundamentals. We did some good things down there. The quarterback did not come into the game with a lot of carries, so that's scouting report too. We emphasized some other things and learned from those, but they got to go 98 yards. We put it out at the 2, so I think minus a couple plays in there, where we gave them more yards than what they should have gotten. A couple of scrambles were fine, but we're containing him, and he's not really gouging us. But we had a couple of those plays that were pretty big. Had a couple missed tackles on a pass play. We weren't in position. I think that's kind of the story right now of us. We got to get in better position, but we should have never been in that situation. If we take care of business in the first half, that's not even a factor. So,
All right. Give us your perspective of Trotwood's quarterback run, the game-winning 2-point conversion.
Shouldn't have come down to it, but it did, and I thought we were kind of out of position. Skylar Slifer's there to make a play. We had another linebacker that was kind of out of position there too, and both those kids, Colby Wallace and Skylar, I put my money on them. They're both really good inside linebackers, but when we're not in position to make plays, that's tough to handle. And it was really close. But again, it's just, the thing we emphasize more than anything else, which is really, it's hard to take because I told him we're 44 seconds away from being 2-0 against 2 good football teams. But we don't make people earn it, and we're going to have to learn to do that, or we're going to have outcomes that don't come in our favor. So, for everybody, it looks like it comes down to 3 seconds. Our games are exciting, so you get your money's worth, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I told him. I said, you're going to play against good football teams, and you leave them hang around for a while like that with their kind of talent, anything can happen, So if we make them earn it and then they do that, that's different, So we got to get better. That's really the message, and I think they're up for that, and hopefully go down and have a good showing down at LaSalle. So.
All right. On the positive side, a big rushing game for Logan Doty, including a 62-yard run. What did you see from him as well as the offensive line?
No, what I always see from him, he's a hard-nosed kid, very coachable, wants to be great. You can just see it the way he does things. He's strong. He's a workout freak. He loves being in the weight room, and he's gotten himself ready to play, and that's how he practices. He carried 37 times. So That's a lot. I kind of go back to Drew Baker. I think the most we've ever had a fullback carry was Drew when he was a junior. Carried it, I think, 44 times against Northmont at home, and we've got other backs. We can. Those guys need to step up more, and we need to utilize them more too. Logan's done a great job, and we're doing it up front too. That defensive line, like I've been coaching here. This is my 10th year. We've never seen anything like that. Those guys, if they're not Division II state champs, I don't know who is. Based on what they have up front, and we had 300 plus yards on them. So you want to talk about a positive. I feel really good about that. I think our defense stepped up from the week before where we really didn't play defense. I think, nothing against Alter. Again, they're good. They're talented. They're another one that should be contending for the Division III state title, I believe. But we did not play Fairmont defense, and in a week's time, we've gotten better. Our special teams were a huge bright spot. We get an onside kick, and the only time that night, we had two 11-play drives, a 12-play drive, and a 14-play drive. Controlled the clock most of the night, minus the fumbles. And then we go out and go 3 and out. So you can't do that. Just a calamity of errors. Within a lot of positives, and we just need to focus on those, get better, and just improve each week, and that's what we're focusing on. So,
all righty. So with 2 tough last-second defeats, what was the message in practice this week psychologically to keep the team's spirits up?
Get better. I don't know how. If you're looking at that, and we talked about it, it's like we're 44 seconds away. That game could have turned into a blowout. I told him, I said, you take away the 3 turnovers, 2 of them for sure. There are kind of -7 swings. We're right there, and I think they sense that. I hope. Hopefully they're paying attention to what's going on. We're not playing Sisters of the Poor. We're playing a really good schedule here, and we don't want it any other way. I asked them, I said, you guys want me to schedule some of these? No. So it's like, so you're going to be in big games like that, and it's going to pay off down the road. We talk a lot about this is a marathon, not a sprint. We want to finish, and that's a key word too. We're not finishing games, and against quality opponents, that's going to catch up with you. So I think they see it, for what it is. And our week of practice has been interesting. It's not been as good as I want it, but I don't know if it ever will be. The key is, what do they think about it? And right now they're not satisfied with where they are. So I think as long as we continue to just, look into our process every day, we're going to talk about it today, what we need to do better in practice so those things don't happen to us on Friday night.
Okay, now we're going to look at LaSalle, another tough team. Let's go to this week's opponent of LaSalle. The coach's son graduated at the quarterback spot, now replaced by senior Javier Carter. What are your impressions of him?
He's phenomenal, good athlete. Coach McLaughlin's son was really good. He was a 3-year starter last year, and everything kind of ran through him. So I think he likes to put his quarterbacks in those situations. We're similar in that. But he's good. When he takes off running, he's scary. So we're going to have to do a much better job containing the quarterback and just playing fundamental defense. It's really not that complicated. I think sometimes we overcomplicate things as coaches. I'm guilty myself, and we just need to get back to basics. We're going to have to. They give you a lot of formations and try to really screw you up that way. So we got to get lined up right, and we have to play, our responsibilities, do our jobs, know our jobs, and then finish. And I think if we do that, we'll be okay. But they're good. Coach McLaughlin's a good coach. A couple state championships, and he coached at Moeller, was the offensive coordinator. He knows what he's doing. So we're up against it again. But again, we wouldn't want it any other way.
Okay, and final question for you. LaSalle has outscored its opponents 73-7. What are your thoughts about the rest of their team?
Well, they're always really good on defense. The past 3 years, we've had defensive struggles with them primarily. The first year was 10-3 at our place. We go down there 2 years ago, and it was 14-7. Those both could have gone either way, honestly. And then last year here, it was 18-12. I think they did some things defensively that gave us problems. So we're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to play really good football. We're going into. I think it's great. I love going down there and playing. I think you can't ask for much more if you're a high school football player to be able to go in that environment. And it's kind of a mini pit. If you've ever been down to Elder, it's kind of a mini version of that. So it's a really cool place to play against a really good GCL opponent. That expects to be at the end of the year, in Canton. So what more can you ask for? As far as opportunities, challenges, whatever you want to call them, I think our guys sense it, and hopefully we put our best foot forward on Friday night.
All right, just one for me then. So today during practice, what's the emphasis going to be on? Defense or offense? Or
All
both?
the above.
All the above.
We emphasize all three phases every day. So the emphasis is getting better. We got to get 1% better each day, whatever that is. Like I said, our practices have not been great this week. Labor Day, that's always kind of a crapshoot because you just don't know. Laying around all day in bed, which they probably did, is never good when you come out to practice that day. So not great there. We've been just very up and down. I thought last week's practice was really good, and it showed in the game, although we did, we put the ball on the ground. So we got to emphasize the little things, not beating ourselves, make opponents earn everything. And right now we're doing okay in some respects, but not in the others. So that's going to be the emphasis.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and good luck down at LaSalle on Friday.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Norm.